The next presentation will be made by Valerii Barinberg, General Director of Group of Companies SCANEX. Good afternoon, welcome everyone. It's an exciting day today. I loved the space part, and I noticed that I'm going to cover a lot of stuff that others already covered. It's disappointing on one hand. On the other hand, we are thinking in the same way. I'll try to speed things up. Everybody wants to go to the beach. No beach tonight. There's going to be a game, intellectual game, right after this session. So an enormous amount of satellites. Some companies declared their future plans for 5 to 10 years ahead. So there'll be more and more data, more and more satellites, and all this information is going to collapse as a stone, crush us as a stone, which means that there is an increasing number of users who are not competent enough. They can't handle that much data.
Also, as it has been mentioned, the technologies are not standing still, they are moving forward, and based on our most recent years' experience, we see the sheer speed of this development and speed of data transmission and processing. And we can already say that from any point of the world one can reach another point in the world, and whatever is there will soon be at the tip of our fingers in form of a button on our smartphone. Also, I'd like to note the technologies of business changing as such, and whereas earlier I think business was based on the deficit of a particular asset or a resource, like you have a steamer and you can transport people by dictating your own prices. Now it's totally different. Business is based on the availability of some asset or availability of some resources, like Uber was mentioned here sometimes, and it's based on providing easy access to a large number of cabs, and so it works like, not that they're not there, it's that there are plenty of them. In the same manner, they do things based on the availability of other resources, like human resources. One can rent any kind of rooms, cars, I don't know, technologies, and so on. Aside from some key things in your business, of course. And in this case, I think business is concentrating more on its narrow competences, something that only this business can do better. The rest is being outsourced. Personnel upon demand and things like that. In fact, if we approach our theme, we see the development of our sector through images and pixels which are supplied and delivered. Now they're done, also supplied and delivered, but in form of catalogs and on subscription on some added value services where a client can get a gist, a digest, analytical or not analytical, from all this mass of data that was delivered to him. Also, I'd like to note here that now I think we see a lot of crisscrossing of our sector of geoinformatics with other sectors, and we acquire as a result analytical products based on the analysis of not only geodata but other things. Aside from big data of images, we have also a lot of databases, structured and non-structured, but we receive a lot of digitized information which is provided with an access, and here we need to make sure that the output product is made compatible with many other services or information or other databases, and shouldn't concentrate only on geoinformation. And I would like to use this opportunity, and based on what I said before, our company started to actively develop services, and briefly I'd like to familiarize you with some of them. Some of our services, which are quite old, we've been doing them for a long time. We've made a lot of, it's a trial and error effort, and we try to adapt ourselves to the realities. This is fire map service, geoservice fire maps with all the thermal dots and any additional information. One of the examples, when we add additional information there not related to geoinformatics, like the analysis of news flow on the theme of fires, for instance, can also be added here. The online catalog, again, we've been doing it for a while. We are developing online catalog by regularly uploading all metadata, including Roscosmos data, resource P data, and using this catalog we can easily find the required images for a certain period with a certain cloudiness level for the area that you need. Our service for agriculture, I'm not going to speak more about it. Yet another service which we've been implementing for a long time already, and it's getting quite popular here. Access to open data of commercial systems, because commercial systems still have a lot of open data and everybody's all of a sudden interested in that, and we decided to unite it. We've had it for a long time already, and we provide it as in the form of services upon subscription or by AP or by referral for all required areas, for all the data available for this area for a certain period. Everything will be downloaded from one point without using commercial data. Also, I'd like to say that a year ago we received a grant from the National Technological Initiative. This organization was mentioned a couple of times today, and within this National Technological Initiative we received a grant for building a marine portal which would put together all the products and services and data, whatever is related to the marine sector. I would like to use this opportunity to suggest cooperation to people who have ideas about this within this marine portal. And the services that we developed together with somebody Often, for the development of services, we invited leading institutes to do scientific research, and based on the results, we built our own services. First is the icing server, because we use Nordic navigation quite actively with some extraction of natural resources there, so information about ice cover is very important, and based on radar data and based on optical data, we collect all this information, and in automatic mode we classify it by splitting it into portions, and then experts put all this together by turning the data into ice cover maps. Marine vessel monitoring on ice we receive from AIS, from Earth and Volcom, and we get it from different we get AISs from different companies, from land-based and coastal AISs, and we address two goals here. We monitor marine vessels whenever we need to do so, and we also monitor a certain perimeter which might be entered by vessels or not. This is the service for vessel detection or a control of certain perimeter, when we can see whether vessels enter this area or not. And if those vessels switched off their AISs, which happens, we use radar images to detect vessels and detect their course, the movement, and where they're going. The service proved to be quite interesting. The safe water displacement of a vessel, usually canals have special area where unloading of vessels is done, and our service also shows whether a particular vessel is capable of moving through that canal at this water level. On the same manner, we can forecast after what time the vessel can move through it, depending on the tidal information, level of water, and a few centimeters. Whereas if a vessel goes down a few centimeters, that means millions of tons of additional cargo, which means money for it. Monitoring of environmental information, detecting of oil spills or some kind of loose material spills like coal contamination. Also detection of drifts forward and backwards. We can detect the culprit vessel that made this spill. We can also see during the extraction of this natural deposits the natural evacuation of oil on the surface of water. That's it. Thank you. Valerii, are there any questions for Mr. Barinberg? I have a question for Valerii about your services. They're very interesting. Based on what data specifically? You mentioned optical and radar data, but they cost something, right? Or do you use only free of charge data? Based on what space data do you provide their services? We didn't reinvent the wheel here. Everything we use first free of charge data, and then we use commercial data. But use commercial data as well, yes, of course. Because monitoring of the coverage, you are subscribing to some serious data, otherwise, I mean, it turns out to be quite expensive eventually. What specific data are you subscribed to? Well, we cooperate with Roscosmos, but so far we didn't sell anything to Roscosmos. But you get data from Roscosmos, of course. So based on Russian data, among other things, yes, absolutely all data. Naturally, most of them, at least if we speak about the data, radar data, we use free of charge data, like Sentinel data. We cooperate also with the company EA and Airbus and GOI. And we acquire all the data, and often for one of our clients we use absolutely all data, including commercial data, whenever we need to monitor it every day. Then business-wise, your services are specifically customized for customers. Are these services all available or upon subscription, or is it specifically designed for a particular ministry or agency? A physical agency, can a physical person get in touch with your service and use it? Of course. If this person is our client, so basically he's supposed to pay for it, right? Well, yes, all the services are commercial aside from the fire spot services. They're for free. Here we work at the technical support level, when the client pays for the technical support. Okay, no questions. Thank you very much. Thank you.